What's up, everybody? Welcome to the card cast on the Warehouse Sports Cards on YouTube. The National was last week. This is our first episode of Cardcast, but we wanted to get in. We have a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about in general because, like, what we do on a daily basis is so much different than what you watch on most of sports card YouTube.
For sure.
It's just completely different, and like this business is geared around maximizing profit on sports cards. So, Mike's been doing this for 25 years, making a living doing this. So if, if this business is geared around making money on sports cards and it's completely different than what most of the sports card content on YouTube is about making money in sports cards, then there's a disconnect there. And I think it's something we need to talk about.
For sure.
But for right now, like, starting off, we definitely want to get into the National because this was my first National. I didn't even know if I wanted to go because I knew kind of what I knew kind of that I felt like there were certain things I was going to be disappointed about. But you've set up at the National. You've been several times.
Yeah, a couple times. Went maybe, I don't know, fourth or fifth one. I didn't really keep track of them. I don't go when they're on the East Coast, Atlantic City or something, but I've been to one in Chicago several times and Cleveland twice, I think.
Yeah.
But it's been out to Baltimore. I don't drive that far, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, being your first National, what'd you think?
That's the part I loved about it. Like, I wish I could have gone when there wasn't 100,000 people there at one time. Like, I loved it. Like, the guys that I've met through at the shows and, friends of yours and stuff that have been around a long time, like, that's what I enjoy. But as far as like the craziness, kind of the commercialism that's come up in the last year, like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome for the hobby and there's a lot of parts of it that I really enjoy, but it just seems fake.
Yeah.
It just comes across as disingenuous because it is commercialized. Like, when you go into the Breakers Pavilion, which is like this section of the National, this huge room that's just for people doing live breaks, and like there's just a lot of commercialism, there's a lot of sales, and like there's a lot of hobbyists, there's a lot of people that are on board with that. Like they're cool with that. I'm not so cool with that, but we'll get more into that. But for right now, like, I went up, like, I knew, like, I wanted to go, but I knew it was going to be crazy. So I just set out. I'm going up Wednesday night. It opens at 4 to the public on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm coming home on Thursday. So I went up. I went at 4, stayed till close on Wednesday night, and then got there after they opened on Thursday and left at like 4. And just my whole objective was to find some bulk that I could buy. Like, I think both of us, like, our objective was to buy in bulk, to try to find some stuff to buy. And if you're going to make any money off anything, you got to buy in bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was, well, we'll get into that, but what was your plan going in, and what was your, like,
the main plan schedule going in was just to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any expectations about buying stuff. It's hard for dealers because you realize that, it's easier for you if you realize that they don't need to give deals right away. Like, it's $2,500 for a booth, and then they have to be there a week at a hotel. It's $1,500 there. Gas, food, maybe if they need help, it's $4,000 to $5,000. Their first $12,000, $15,000 in sales, they're breaking even.
Yeah, once you figure in what you got in the stuff you're
exactly.
selling. Yeah.
So they're not looking to give away stuff on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
So my expectations for that part of it were, I'm just gonna go up, have some fun, meet some or say hi to people that I haven't seen in 2 years because there wasn't one last year. My wife knows some people up there that she likes to say hi to, people from Omaha and Chicago that we don't see every time.
Yeah.
It was 3 days off from the shop. We kind of needed a vacation from being here every day for 8 months straight.
Yeah.
So that was my expectations for the show. If I bought anything or sold anything or traded anything, it was just bonus.
But going back to like what you said about they don't need to give deals right away on Wednesday. Like, I think that kind of it seems like that kind of backfired on people.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, the goal up there is to, I mean, if you're setting up and you're spending that time of money, the goal is to sell cards.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's on Wednesday or Sunday.
Yeah.
So, somebody may come in with a pile of cash and they may not see your table again because there's 1,000 other tables. Like, the time to make that sale is when you see that person wanting that sale.
Yep.
There was a lot of people from the videos I saw from the people I talked to that they didn't sell very much, and there was a reason for that. The reason, if you got that many people at the show, the reason you didn't sell anything because your prices were too high.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no other reason.
That's
if you wanted to sell cards, you could sell cards there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody, all the dealers were thinking, well, if this guy doesn't buy something, the next guy will.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people buying stuff were like, well, if he doesn't have anything to buy, then I'll just go to the next one.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's just like you said, like at one point, if you had gone up there and you had your like everything priced 15% under eBay comps, you just sold out.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was up there Wednesday afternoon. I was up there Wednesday morning, actually. And you could tell the people that had their stuff priced correctly. Yeah. Because there was holes in their showcases.
Yeah.
There was people digging through their boxes. Mm-hmm. Like, it showed up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those people were happy with the show. Yeah. They weren't worried about sales later, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not rocket science. Like, price your cards fairly, correctly. Mm-hmm. You know, fairly is 15 below eBay comps because you're going to give it to your customer, you're going to give it to eBay.
Yeah.
So if you price it fairly, you were selling cards.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I noticed anyways.
Like in the dollar boxes, like I looked through probably 150 different dollar boxes. I'm just guessing, but a bunch. Like when I could get in, when there wasn't a line to look at dollar boxes.
Yeah.
There was. Yeah. Like honestly, like that second day on Thursday, I would say half of the tables that I went up to try to look at stuff, you couldn't look at anything.
Right.
It was packed.
Yeah.
You know? And, but I probably did look through $150 boxes. I ended up buying the whole time I was there $40 worth of dollar cards. And from one guy, pretty much from one guy's table. And that was it. I psyched myself up going up there that I'm not spending money on anything that's not a good deal.
Just because it's the National.
Yeah. Just
to buy at the National.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's fun. That's, you know, if it's your first time, it's really disciplined to do that your first time up there because, I mean, you want to say, I got this card at my first National. You know what I mean? But to not do that, to be disciplined to do that was a smart move, I think.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of it. It was about the experience. Like the experience is why I went. I am disappointed that, you know, I'm just looking for a $5 box that I can buy the whole box and I can get it for, you know, 60 to 70% of comps. And that stuff was there, but I didn't find it. It just wasn't the right. There was a couple guys that were definitely interested in dealing on something like that, but it just wasn't the right thing, or the person wasn't willing to deal on in that manner. And
I mean, you know, people's dollar boxes were, some of them were really $3 for $1 boxes. Yeah, they just marked wrong, you know.
Yeah,
like there's differences in dollar boxes, you know.
Yeah.
There was one guy that we looked through on Thursday afternoon, or no, it was probably Wednesday afternoon. And I'm looking at and he had them divided by team. So if they have them divided by team, they should be a little more. I mean, they've spent the time to sort them for you, save you time. And I'm looking through his Chiefs box, and it's all jersey cards of Aaron Murray and DeAnthony Thomas and Glenn Dorsey. And we go through, and my wife finds a Travis Kelce rookie select silver.
Yeah.
You know, for $4. So we had to dig through 700, 800 cards to find one card that was $4 that should have been $100.
Yeah.
We had to dig through 700 cards that should have been $1.
Yeah.
That were in the $4 box.
Yeah.
So there's differences in prices. There's differences in dollar boxes.
Yeah.
You got to find the right guy.
If I went up to a box, like I would take a chunk out of here. I take a chunk out of here. If I don't find anything that's definitely like, I want that for $1, then I'm moving on.
Yeah, especially with 1,000 tables, you can do that.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're spending $4,000 for a booth, like, you better put some time into stuff, because there's more guys like me that are just going to take a couple chunks, and if they don't, if it
you can
doesn't
tell the
look
guys
right,
that put in time.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that all the money I spent, my whole $40 went to that one guy's table, and I figured it up, and there was about $140 in value that I could extract out of that. Not like, comp value or something, but value I could actually extract out of that. And so I knew pretty quick, like, my first chunk, I pull a $4 or $5 card out of a $1 box, like, I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was, like, it was great. It was great, but there was definitely, like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was hot. It was ridiculously hot.
It's a big room. Yeah. Like, it's I don't know the exact square footage. I'm sure you could find out, but I mean, I would say at least 2 football fields.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, and not counting like the Breakers Pavilion and stuff, just that one big room had to be 200 yards long.
Yeah.
And 50 yards wide.
Yeah. It was sweating standing up hot though.
Yeah.
It was like,
if you did anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, anything, I don't know if the AC wasn't working, or because it was like 100 degrees up there, right? That like 95.
It was crazy. One of the dealers told me that he wanted a discount on his booth fee because it wasn't supposed to be like that or something.
Yeah.
Something
good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Right? I don't think he's gonna be getting that, but it definitely, like, it was hot, it was crowded. Like, no hate towards the guys for selling as many tickets as they can.
Yeah. Like
you were saying, like a little background, like, you said the National went bankrupt in 2009. It was
on the verge of going under completely. Yeah. And I know, I think it was 1990 or 91 in Anaheim, they sold like 90,000 tickets, but it was like a huge, like, I think the last time in Chicago I heard it was like 50,000 tickets.
Yeah.
So, not the last time, but the biggest one in Chicago recently. So it's twice that many people. And there's literally like no room. Like, the aisles aren't huge. Like, there was a guy standing at one table with a backpack on, and another guy standing across the aisle with a backpack on, and there was this much room, and I'm not fitting through that. Like, I'm tapping people. Like, it took us 30 minutes to walk from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Simply because we had to stop, let people cross, stop, people were walking in just everywhere. I mean,
and I would say that's another thing when I go back to, like, I wish I could have gone before it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that sucked were there was a lot of people that were just, like, rude.
Yeah.
Like, they would just walk right through you, basically.
It's Chicago.
Like, if you don't move out of the way, they're going to run you over, basically. And just, like, that type of thing, or like burrow into wherever your space that you're occupying or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just, like, there's those kind of people everywhere, but you maximize it by, however many, people were there compared to, what would be normal. And
I mean, I had a somewhat, like, different experience simply because we got in Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Like, so literally the dealers were still sitting up. We were there at 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So dealers were sitting up. Nobody's in there.
Yeah.
It's dealers dealing with dealers. So that's when I bought everything I bought.
Yeah.
So between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., that's everything I bought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't a ton. It was like 6 Mahomes rookies or 4 Mahomes rookies. $1 box buy, some minor cards here and there. I mean, we didn't buy a lot of stuff, but everything we bought was in those hours where you could move around and go from table to table to table,
This is how the other half lives.
I have one friend that could get me a badge. Let's get in early, So, but it's like, you don't want to, it's just a different story from, because like Wednesday morning, as soon as it got busy, we left Wednesday, like as soon as they started letting people in, it's like, we're done,
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we did not buy anything. Me and my wife is when I say we did not buy one single card on Thursday. Yeah. And we were there for 2 hours. You just couldn't navigate. You couldn't, you were waiting in line to look at showcases.
Yeah.
And then when you got to the front, everything's priced, you know, maybe overpriced, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you just there's 1,000 tables to see, and you're spending 5 extra minutes at every table.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't see everything. That's what sucked about it.
There's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wednesday night was easy compared to Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday was crazy.
I can't imagine Friday and Saturday there. I don't even want to think about it.
I don't either. I don't want to think about it. I wouldn't want to be there.
No.
Like, I'm glad we got out when we did. Like we were talking, if I was to do it over again, I'd go up on Sunday probably and just go on Sunday and see what I could find. Like, if you're going to find stuff to buy, which it's probably not the right place to go to find stuff to buy.
Yeah.
You know, you would think with as many people as are there shouldn't be an issue finding deals like that, like whole boxes of stuff and things where you can get the right discounts to make it worth it. But
the ones to look for, at least what I've started to figure out a little bit, because it changes all the time. Like, but a person with like 4 showcases, and they've got every single card in their showcase is worth more than $100, and they've got $10,000 cards, $8,000 cards, and they got one little box on the side marked at $1. They don't want to take that box home.
Right.
You know, like that box is worth $500 and there are 3 cards in here are worth $1,000. Like, they don't want to take that box home.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people I was looking for, and the person that I bought from was a person like that. Like he was from Hawaii, and he's taking a carry-on with his cards because he's not checking that.
Yeah. And most of the showcases are rented.
Right, yeah. They don't take those home either. So he's not taking that box home.
Right.
Like, he wants to sell it, but the second option is leave it there. Like, he is not taking them for, even if it was on Wednesday, you know? So, but there's not that many like that anymore. I mean, at several older national, I mean, in the past, before the boom, people were like, you know, you could find a weekend warrior type guy that they bought a table at the national. Yeah. You know, it wasn't a 3-month plan to build up for the national.
3-year plan.
Yeah,
now.
For some of them, yeah. So, there's so many big dealers. It's just not that way anymore. I mean, those guys don't have to sell cards.
Yeah, it's those smaller shows where you're gonna run into that stuff. The regional shows, and even the local shows.
Right, and the national used to just be a big conglomerate of those shows, and it's not anymore. It's half of or probably a third of the show floor was corporate.
Yeah.
You know, Dave and Adams, Blowout, Tops, you know, eBay, PWCC, Probstein, all those, you know. So
there was stuff I hadn't heard of before there.
Yeah.
There was a company called Card Score.
Yeah.
That makes like they have a kiosk with like a high definition scanner, and you like put your information in and scan your card, and it could be a graded card or it could be a raw card, and they send it out to like a network of like graders, but it's just guys like at home that they've like qualified to be graders, which are probably more qualified than a lot of people doing it for 40 hours a week, because your best graders aren't working for another company grading for $15-20 an hour.
No.
You know, they're guys have been doing this for 40 years. They've got a full-time job that pays way more than that, but they're good at it. Yeah. So then you get in the mail, you get like a one touch and a grade sticker, and like looks like, you know, more like what you would see from PSA or one of the grading companies. And then you take that to your local card shop and they match it up, the paperwork with the card, and seal it. And they do like a fingerprint ID on it, like with a high definition scan. I don't know how it'll go off. They said they've got these little kiosks, like they could put one in the shop here. And that's why I kind of talked to them more. But you don't have to send them your card. Like, you could do that. I think it's $15 to get it from them, but you could do that and sell your card the next day.
Right. And
like, it's not in the mail to PSA, you know, you got a good deal, somebody wanted it or whatever. Like, you have control over it. That's what I really liked about their system. Like, you know, there's plenty of things that you could critique about that setup.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to find out how good your card is, like that's a pretty good option.
It keeps it very liquid for somebody who wants a third party opinion on a card grade, like the person you buy it from. If you don't know who it is, who they are, you're buying it online. You're looking at a picture. I mean, there's a space for grading fees in the $10 to $30 range right now.
Yeah,
because nobody's doing it.
Yeah, and like a review, like a great it's raw card review. Basically.
Yeah, it's like Beckett's RCR. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see that booth, but it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. They seem like good people, and you know, I hope they do well because you know, there's $15 or in today's market, there's not much downside for the consumer, and I think it's a good to, like he was saying, like a ridiculous number of people review your card.
Yeah.
Because it's set up on that network basis where it just goes out to everybody, and any of their graders or whatever in that network can look at it and give it a score, and it might end up seeing 100 people, 100, whatever. It was a crazy number of people, but I can see how, like, with the internet and with, like, I can't think of the right word, but with a network, like a cloud network like that or whatever.
Just mass group text, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
This card came in, and what do you guys think of it? And
yeah.
They send it to 1,000 people. If 50 of them respond, it's 50 more views on it.
Yeah, but it's definitely better than one or two guys.
Yeah, right. Or some guy that got trained 2 weeks ago because PSA needed to expand real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's exactly right. And I mean, so that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of new stuff, a lot of stuff there, commercial corporate stuff that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah.
So that was definitely good.
Yeah. There was Topps is really good. Topps and Panini both. They're really good about like giving stuff away. And I'm very bad at that. The free giveaways and the silver packs and
taking advantage of it.
Oh yeah, I'm horrible. Like I don't understand. Half the time I don't understand it. Half the time it's like I don't want to buy this box. They're making me buy this box to get this pack that I want. Oh, now I understand why they're making me get this pack so I can buy their box. Like I just don't. I'm not very good at it at all. Waiting in line, the times, trying to schedule. I just want to go look at some cards and buy some cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not really good at that, but a lot of people take advantage of that. I mean, you could pay for your trip. We met a guy Wednesday night in the hotel elevator.
Yeah.
And said he got one of the silver packs from Panini or Topps or somewhere, and put it on eBay immediately and sold it for $750.
What?
It was a free giveaway pack.
What?
So I didn't verify and I didn't do anything like that, but that's what the story was. He said I paid for my whole trip, just getting that free pack.
Dang.
So
I was looking in the wrong place. I was looking in the wrong place.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're really good about that. Giving away stuff like that. I mean, I know the VIP stuff, the cards, they hold some value sometimes. If you look back and type in like 2004 Allen and Ginter VIP, whatever. I mean, there's cards that have some value still.
Sure.
So, I mean, that helps. That's what's different about every other card show though.
Yeah.
But they sold so many of those, they shut that off this year. They sold out. They ran out of stuff to give away.
Well, like in the past, they would do those. Like if you bought at a certain level, like your VIP ticket at a certain level, you'd get like 100 silver packs, or if you spent the $10,000 in wax to get into the VIP party, then you got like 100 gold packs.
Everybody's
400
doing
silver packs. They didn't do that this year.
No, they couldn't. I mean, there was too many people to do. I mean, there was too many people that were doing that. I mean, they're fighting off people to do that.
Yeah.
There's the list is 2,000 people long that want to do that. So yeah, I mean, it's different than. That's what kind of sucked about it was that the stuff you want to do and the stuff you can do can't be accomplished because they won't let you.
Yeah.
It's the industry's so big that I mean it's so easy that people can't do what they want to do because they're not allowed to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean that's
if you've got to wait in line for 4 hours to get a silver pack.
Right.
Or like to get an autograph from Hulk Hogan or whatever, like is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, if you really like Hulk Hogan, or if you really want a silver pack, then I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
But it's still 4 hours of your life.
Yeah.
It's not not for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you could be at that show every hour that it's open and do nothing but look at cases and look at cards and not see everything.
Definitely.
100%. I mean,
yeah.
So you really, I mean, I say you need a game plan, but if you go in there looking for a certain card, or I just want to get a really nice Lamar Jackson, or like I went in there, only guy I'm paying eBay for is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Or Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick one up that I can see in person, and that was my goal on Wednesday. That's the only guy I spent any money on.
Yeah.
So I mean, that you can be somewhat successful, but I mean, those cards when I came back, they were gone Saturday afternoon. Like,
yeah,
and the margins were that thin. I mean, I had $1,000 sale and made $50. Like, that's how thin they were. That doesn't pay for a trip to Chicago.
Yeah.
So
not even close.
No. So it's different. I mean, there's no complaints. It's just it's different.
Yeah, I think that was, we talked about, like, that was one of the things maybe we were both a little the most unhappy about, is we definitely should have been able to find some deals to pay for our trip.
Yeah.
And like neither one of us. And my trip was a lot less expensive than what your trip was, but still, like,
yeah,
like we should have, like, with the money we were taking and with the game plan we had, even at the national, like, we should have been able to do that.
Well, you try to set yourself up for success. So, like, I had a deal in place Wednesday morning when I went up there.
Yeah. And
I met a customer on the way up there and made a sale that way. Like, if I would have made those 2 sales and turned around, it would have been a successful trip, So you got to set yourself up for, you got to set yourself up for success, even if you don't have success.
Yeah.
So it was still productive. And we honeymooned in Chicago, so we love that town,
Yeah.
We can find something to do in Chicago. So, worst case scenario, I'd call it a vacation instead of a trip, instead of a business trip. So, but it was being on that side of the table, which is mostly what I am when I go to those big shows. It was I could definitely see frustration, and I was there too. I mean, I was there for when people were in the show. I was there for 2 hours and gave up.
Yeah, yeah. And there was plenty of guys that were willing to deal, willing to come down on stuff, even if they had stuff priced high. But there was some dealers that just were like, there's 1,000 guys behind you. I don't care. Like, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It was kind of their mentality.
I mean, in the past, I've called it. They charge $19 to get in, and I call it the museum fee. Because you're going in there to look at a bunch of stuff. Either one, you can't afford, or two, they're not going to sell it to you for a decent price.
Right.
So, I mean, pay the fee to go see the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Pay the fee to go see the $4.5 million Mahomes card.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as your expectations aren't, I'm going to take in $2,000 and buy a collection that I can turn into $10,000.
Yeah.
Then it's the national, you're going to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
I loved it.
Yeah.
That's the title of the video. Like, the national sucked and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. The things that sucked about it weren't its fault. You know?
Yeah.
It was like just a product of the market.
Yeah. The things that sucked about it is why we're all here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's why the masses are here.
It looked like a college fishing tournament. Like, there were so many guys with tackle boxes, 22-year-old guys with tackle boxes full of graded cards. Like, that's the way I felt the whole time. Like, waiting in line to get in, you just see like boom, 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 just a bunch of like brown and gray and black tackle boxes full of graded cards, and like, we kind of make jokes about it. Like, if you're a collector, like, if you're like, that's what you're into, like, that's awesome, but you're not gonna make a living doing that.
No.
It's like
the speculation and the speculation is not a way to make a living. That's fun. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
If that's your hobby, that's amazing. But you're not gonna make a living speculating.
Yeah, you're not gonna make money even.
No.
Like, not long term. Like,
no.
Like, so much of sports card YouTube is occupied by people that became quote unquote famous.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube card famous.
Yeah.
Within the last year. And no hate against those guys. Like, like some of them did amazing things and made a ton of money, but that was in 2020.
Yeah.
Like
nobody lost money in 2020.
That person that buys graded cards and flips them didn't exist before 2020, you know, and it doesn't exist now. Like the market we've got now, like it's just we're talking about like the sports gambling, which is essentially the same thing. Like you're trying to, you know, analyze a lot of factors. Like you can make a living if you're right 56% of the time, and very, very, very few, hardly anyone in the world is right that much, even 56% of the time, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm not making fun of that. I'm really not. But it's like, if you think so many people have been led, like, there have been literally thousands of the hottest cards to buy right now videos. And I've made a few of them. I quit making them when the market went to crap. But you could make them for a whole year and you'd be right every time.
Every time.
Every
card went up. As long as the guy wasn't standing.
Yeah.
I mean, was still standing, the card went up.
Yeah.
Like that was what created the market, was the pandemic. When they shut off games, nobody had a bad game for 4 months. Nobody. Not hockey, not golf, not soccer. Nobody had a bad game for 4 months.
Right.
So everybody was hot. Everybody had potential. I was selling Jaleel Okafors because maybe he had a game when he came back. Like
Bull has a summer league game.
Yeah.
His price is
he's playing against high schoolers and people... And his cards go 10 times overnight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully that's not going to happen again, you know? I mean, it can't.
I mean, never say never, like, but, you know, with what people know about what happened then, it would be very different.
Yeah.
But in any type of, anything resembling a normal market, like, that's not how you can make money in sports cards. That's not a valid way to make money in sports cards.
There's a reason in 2019 that PSA had quarterly specials and $8 bulk, because not everybody in the world was doing that because it wasn't profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't hugely profitable.
Yeah.
If you got 9s and added the grading fees, you lost money.
I had 3 Mike Trout update rookies in 2018 and got all 3 of them graded because I thought they would 10, and 2 of them did. I got 2 10s and a 9. I was very lucky. At that point in time, raw was 300, a 9 was 6, and a 10 was like 1,000, you know, or 1,200, something like that. But an 8's 300, you know, and it's similar now, you know. But if you take that's Mike Trout, like, you take that down, like, to, I mean, there weren't a lot of guys. Paper rookie cards weren't very many worth over $100.
No,
you know, so even if you're paying $15, you know, and an 8's worth $15 and a 9's worth $30, it's not really. You're not getting there.
No, not the way it is now. Not when, you know, like Ronald Acuna updates. I mean, I sent in 25 of them. I sent in all of them because 9s were just as 9s. Even after paying $20 to grade them, 9s were still profitable. Yeah. And it didn't used to be that way.
No.
So.
No. I mean, it's still, grading's still profitable if you.
It's even more than it was, but yeah.
Yeah. But I've been grading with SGC. There was a video we were watching about, I lost $10,000 grading with SGC.
Yeah.
Like, he did it wrong. Like, you did it wrong. Because I haven't lost money with anything that I've submitted, and I've made a considerable amount of money. But I'm very selective in what I send in. Yeah. Not only in the condition of the card, but mainly like what card it is. Like that Josh Allen base Donruss, like that's a $40 card, but in a PSA 9, it's $120 card, or in an SGC 9, you know, it's an $80 to $120 card. Well, you know, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good return. You know, you pay $30. But anyways, it's the cards in that scenario with SGC right now. Like, PSA's out the door. Yeah. Like, unless you're buying cards that are over $500, you're not spending $200 to get them graded in 2 months. And I don't really think, like, that's 2 months you're waiting. You know, 2 or 3 months, and so that's out the door. But there's still money to be made in grading cards if you have an eye for grading cards.
Yeah.
But you just can't, like, if you are in the position of a dealer where you can buy at dealer rates at a show or something like that, then yeah, like you can definitely make money. You say it all the time. Like, the only way to make money in cards is to buy a card for less than what you can sell it for.
Yeah.
You know?
It's 100%. Like, the speculation is just that, it's speculation. If you're speculating, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care who's on the front of the card. If it's worth $5, I'll buy it for $2.
Yeah.
You know, if it's worth 10, I'll buy it for $5. You know, even if it's, you know, I bought a ton of Eloy Jimenez stuff, you know, because but I bought it. I didn't buy it at comps thinking, oh, I hope he's going to go back up when he comes back.
Yeah.
I bought it at half of what it's worth now.
Yeah.
So if he goes up, I'm golden. But if he doesn't, I'm still going to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
right.
you buy it low enough, and there's enough people out there that are selling.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you provide a service for them. Now, I'm not, you know, you're not going to buy $200 cards for $100 unless you're a card shop or something like that. Like,
yeah,
you know, good luck trying to double your money on $100 cards.
Right.
But you can double your money on 5 $1 cards, 500 $1 cards.
Yeah, all day long.
And that's how I've run my business for 20 years, is doing the stuff that other people don't want to do, and that's why they'll sell it to you at a discounted price.
There's a lot of work involved in it.
Yeah, a few hours here.
But for your average person out there, like, that's how you make money. Like, I did a video series called the Sports Card Flipping Channel.
Yeah.
And it's just take dollar cards. You know, get cards out of dollar boxes that are worth $5. Like, whatever, but it's work. But that's how you're going to make money, is buying cards that you know you can sell for more than what you're buying them for. That you know you can make a profit on. Not if Luka Doncic becomes the MVP and wins the finals.
Right.
You know,
all that stuff is bonus.
Like, that's
yeah.
If you're going through that and you're constantly, you know, rolling over your inventory, you're having turnover, then there's going to be those ones that they hit at the right time and you happen to be holding some of their stuff and you make a good lick on them, and that's awesome. But if you're that's the Christmas bonus from the company.
Yeah. That's the extra on top. That's not the wage. That's not your salary.
Yeah.
Your salary is grinding it out in dollar boxes and you know, finding those cards that people put in their dollar boxes that you can sell for $4.
Go look at collections on that people advertise on Facebook or, you know, advertise on Craigslist for buying cards, you know.
Yeah.
You know, or buying in bulk, you know, like, just like we were talking about, like, in certain if you can find the right situations, I mean, you can buy a 4-row box, you know, of $5 cards worth $2,500. You can buy that for $1,500. You can buy that for $1,200 in a lot of situations, you know. But there's a lot of work involved in capitalizing on that.
A good place to look for that is, like, go to shops, go to bigger shops that do have those, you know, that wall of wax and the $5,000 cards in the cases. They may buy a deal that they don't want to mess with. You know, they paid $150 and they'll sell it to you for $200, but it's worth $500, and they don't want to mess with it, you know. But it all comes back down to this business relationships anyways. Like, the reason I got in early wasn't because I'm special. It's because I had a relationship with a guy that had an extra badge, you know. Like, you know, going up to say hi to somebody that I've known 20 years and we've seen each other once a year for 20 years, but it's like we're both, like, it's relationships. That guy's going to sell to me cheaper than he's going to sell to some new guy.
Sure.
So it's about building relationships, even if you don't, that's part of the issue with the new people. Yeah. Is, like, every deal is a brand new deal.
Yeah.
You know, I need to squeak out, you know, this card's worth 100. He offered me 70, but I want to squeak out 75.
Yeah.
You know, the next time I deal with somebody like that, it's like, okay, I know you're going to talk me down. I'm going to offer 65 and you're going to sell it to the 70 I wanted anyways.
Yeah.
You know, like, if we want to play that game, we can, but how about just build a relationship yeah, 70 is a fair deal. I'll sell it to you for 70.
Yeah.
You know, the next time you come along, 80. I mean, if you're dealing with fair, nice people, I mean, I say nice people, you know, like fair people.
Yeah.
That's more important than finding a card for $80 that you can sell for 150 one time from a guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's all about relationships. I know everybody says that, but it's true.
Well, there's a line where it's like, you know, if you're looking to buy from somebody at 15% below comp, like, you know, that's a fair starting point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you're stuck on that and they're not willing to do it, then fine. But there's a fine line between, you know, trying to find a good deal and trying to talk to somebody into a bad situation, or trying to take advantage of trying to be the one that, you know, takes advantage of somebody. You know, it's like it's not that, maybe that's not the right term, but you understand what I mean. Like trying to be the one that wins. Yeah. You know, like everybody wants to win.
Yeah, there's a lot of alpha males in this business that want to win every single time.
I really like Gary Vee, but one of the worst things that he's done is convince everybody that you should negotiate on everything. Like, that's so disturbing to me. I wouldn't be working here had I took that attitude with you.
No.
Definitely
100% no.
Yeah.
And a lot of my customers will come in and not even let me negotiate because they think it's fair. Like, I have a guy that comes in every Saturday and he pulls out 300 to 400 quarter cards, and he will not let me take less than a quarter because he thinks that's fair. Like, if you build that relationship with that guy, he's coming, and he then a few weeks after that, he came and sold me stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to sell to you at the same price that you sold to me. So here's this stuff at half.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to build those relationships. It's not, I know there's a lot of people out there. You can do a lot of transactions.
Yeah.
But this business gets a lot easier if you can make 2 or 3 phone calls and sell something fast.
It's a pretty small world.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah.
I think everybody was in that room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much everybody was in that room.
Yeah.
I felt like it anyways.
When we first started hanging out, it was so weird because I would be like talking about somebody and you're like, yeah, like I know that guy. Like I've dealt with that guy 100 times before or something like that, you know? Like, or whatever. Like you had a story about pretty much everybody you could think of.
Yeah.
Or I could think of anyways. But yeah, so I think there's just the people, like, I don't think that the people that are espousing that, like, those ideas on YouTube, on Sports Card YouTube, I don't think they're trying to deceive people.
No.
Like, one, they're giving people what they want. Like, that's what works on YouTube, or has for the last year, is 5 hottest cards right now, or, you know, the goats are going up, or, you know, whatever that has to do. Showing people 10 PSA 10 Luka Doncic cards, showing people, like, huge graded cards. Like, that's what's worked on YouTube for the last year. So, like, one, that, like, they're doing what works. But also, two, they just don't know. Like, most of these people have never made a, quote unquote, made a living in sports cards. Like, maybe they did last year flipping cards because everything just you bought went up.
Yeah.
But they've never had to do it in any normal world.
No. They're not, they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in this business that over the last 18 months made life-changing money.
Yeah.
And they're never going to have to know how to dig through dollar boxes.
That's right. That's right.
So, you know, kudos to them. I'm happy. Anybody that does what they want to do for a living in this business, I'm extremely excited for and happy for.
Yeah.
And let's do some deals, you know?
Yeah.
So there's people like that, but also there's, in Kansas City 2 years ago, there was 4 card shops. Now there's 18.
Yeah.
2 years from now, there's going to be 4 instead. There's a better chance of there being 4 again than there is 36.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when it gets tough, when wax isn't 10 times costs on the day of release, when it's 120% of cost, like it always has been, those guys are going to have a rough time making a living. Hopefully, they've done it right over the last 2 years that they don't, that, like I said, life-changing money.
Yeah.
But it's not even going to be like this forever.
No.
I mean, this is still amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was a correction. It was not a crash.
Yeah.
We are still 10 times above where we were 2 years ago.
And that's something that was really stood out to me about the National was what happens when those 10,000 22-year-old NCAA fishing guys with their tackle boxes. What happens when the market, when they've taken a beating on all the cards in there, when they're trying to, and we've seen that over the last 3 or 4 months, like people trying to offload stuff and prices have gone down a lot. But there's still a lot of that. If you're not making money on it, and you don't love it, you're not a collector, you're not just in it for the collection, like you're going to want to unload it at some point in time. You're going to rather have a snowmobile or whatever.
Yeah, we've seen it here almost on a daily basis where someone comes in, a high school kid or a young college kid comes in, and his entire bankroll's in 3 cards, and he's got a Trey PSA 10 and a Luca Prism, silver hyper number to 75, BGS 95.
Yeah.
And his cards have tanked over the past 3 months. And I got to offer him, 60, 70% of eBay. And that's a quarter of what it was in February.
Yeah.
And that guy's not, if that guy sells those cards to me, he's not coming back. Like, if he sells his entire bankroll for a quarter of what it was, he's not coming back. And there's lots of people. I mean, there's lots of we've definitely gained people that are going to stay long term.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a time when we lose a lot of people, and I hope it's gradually instead of a drop off. Because if you have the drop off and everybody liquidates, that's when it crashes.
Yeah.
And I don't see that coming. I mean, I don't
either. I don't either.
I mean, I would say if you look back from the old boom from 87 to 94, we're probably 1990.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway probably.
I feel the same way.
So,
and I judge, I look at it that way a lot. It's like, this is what I know. Like, this is the only thing I can compare it to.
Yeah.
Is 87 to 94 or whatever. And like, cards were still the card market was still good in 97. It wasn't what it was in 1990.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
Yeah. There's got to be something for something like that to happen. I think there's got to be something like, the 94 strike.
Yeah.
That's what killed.
Or
that's when it died.
Or like the 2009 economic crisis.
Right.
Like everybody just completely, nobody was buying cards. They couldn't pay their rent.
Yeah. Right. For sure. I mean, that's 100%. There's stuff to look back on for sure that, but it's so different at the same time. Like, there was never before. I mean, when I say never, almost never. High school kids coming in with $10,000 worth of cards.
Yeah.
Like you can zoom past any levels very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of discombobulating the first few times you see it. Like, is your mom around? Like, I'm not supposed to be making life-changing decisions with a 14-year-old on the other side of the table. Like, so there's a lot more of that going on than definitely used to be. I mean, that's just Instagram. And so they're a lot better than that. They're a lot better on that stuff than guys like me are, for sure. And then guys older than me even.
Yeah.
It's like the poker guys, when online poker just jumped up. Doyle Brunson was the man, he used to play in the 50s and 60s. And he says, these guys, I've been playing for 50, 60 years, and these guys have played more hands than I have.
Yeah.
They were online playing 10 tables a day.
Yeah.
Or 10 tables at a time. He's like, they're better than me because they've played more hands. And it's the same type of thing. Like, some of those guys have made more deals because they'll make 10 a day on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go to a card show once a weekend and try to make 5 deals.
Yeah.
They're doing it every day.
Yeah.
So even though they're younger, they may have more experience.
Yeah.
So it levels. I mean, it levels out. You've got to.
There's two different worlds, though. That's one thing we've talked about a lot this week.
Definitely, and they're splitting more and more.
Yeah, like the National Card Show is run by a bunch of guys you've never heard of, but
they've been around 30 years.
Yeah, it is organized and run, and really like the card world in general when it comes to the big shows and like everything that kind of keeps it going is run by a bunch of guys that have been around forever that you've never heard of, but all the influences are from a bunch of guys that have been around for a year.
Yeah,
that
there was 39 nationals before Sasha T knew what a baseball card was.
yeah.
Or Ryan. I mean, Ryan's been to a bunch of them, but it's it's a bunch of different. Where you get your information is just as important as what information you get.
Yeah.
Because if you start following somebody and the YouTube algorithm says I'm watching this guy's stuff, and you keep watching this guy's stuff, and he's moved on to Gary V's moved on to NFTs. He wasn't at the National.
He didn't even go.
He
said he was going to buy every Jordan there. And he didn't go. Or at least that's what Vegas Dave said.
And I love Gary V.
Yeah, I do too.
But you can't take the information of a guy that's not in it every day.
Yeah.
And
he was a guy that he was in it when he was a kid, but then he didn't get back into it until 2017 or something like that,
But the problem is with some of those guys is Gary V literally can't lie.
Yeah.
Because if he says something hot, it becomes hot.
Right.
Even if he was wrong when he said it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what the definition of an influencer is.
Yeah.
Like, because he says it, it makes it true.
Yeah.
So guys like that are on a different level for sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's any malice behind it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. Vegas Dave, I won't say that about.
Right.
I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I'm not going to make a stand either way.
Yeah.
Not on YouTube anyways. But
allegedly.
Allegedly. But no, like everybody, like, and again, like nobody's out there intentionally trying to deceive anyone. But like you said, a lot of people don't know what they don't know. Like Ryan, Card Collector 2s, who we're talking about, like Ryan is one of Mealy Pops, is one of the only people that actually does this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
They're some of the only people on YouTube that actually do this for a living. Like this is the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this isn't just I'm making a living doing it.
Yeah.
Like this is what I do for a living. This is my career, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Like there's probably some other guys, but not many.
No. I mean, Ryan's everything I've seen about Ryan is completely 100% genuine.
Yeah.
He's not trying to make a living selling sports cards. He's trying to build an empire.
Yeah.
He wants a card shop. He wants multiple card shops. He wants a YouTube page. He wants, he's built. That's on a different level.
Yeah.
But
he's got a different vision than just
running a card shop and making a living, or even making a living selling cards. You don't even need a card shop to do that. I mean, making a living selling cards it's a different vision than what he's trying to do. But there's people in this business now that don't need to sell one card to make a living in this business.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're making side businesses off people making reports on sports cards and trends and the top 5 cards you should be buying when it's actually the top 5 cards you should be selling.
Yeah. If something's hot, you should sell it.
Right.
That's like just common sense,
So most people, I sold every Kevin Moss and Bob Hamlin and
how many charts do you subscribe to?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Spend like $500 a month so you can look up comps that you can look up for free on eBay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
zero. If you didn't get the sarcasm, 0.
Yeah. Not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, right.
But it's just there's no value there. Like you call up a stockbroker, like an actual someone who actually invests in something, and ask them how much value a chart has.
Yeah,
and they'll say about the amount of the paper it's printed on.
Right.
Like
that's a history book.
It's exactly right. Yeah. Like it shows you what's happened. It doesn't give a crap what's going to happen. Like it's not going to tell you what's going to happen.
And plus, at that point, if people know that they're reading those charts as the Bible, as the new Beckett, as the new eBay comps, so easily manipulated. I mean, it's not even. We don't have enough time to get into that.
You blew my mind when you were telling me about PWCC and how like you can bid on your own cards. Yeah. And like they're not against it. Like eBay's not against it. They're not against it. Like it's basically.
Oh, it happens daily. Not even. It happens hourly.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see the same card listed 2, 3, 4 times once a week for, it's. I mean, it's almost accepted at this point.
Yeah. Any of those consignment services, basically.
Yeah.
Like you can send them your card. They'll sell it for 90%, and you can go on eBay and bid on it, run the price up, and if you end up winning it, like they don't even make you buy it. They'll just relist it.
Right.
Like they'll charge you for buying it back from yourself and relist it.
It'll show up as a non-payment.
Yeah.
And then they just relisted.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have any experience with that, but I've seen it done a lot. Like I'm not using any of those services.
Yeah.
But I've seen it done a lot where the same card is on there over and over and over again. Yeah. I mean, those companies do not care about the card prices. They do not care about anything except making the commission on that card.
Yeah.
I mean, the way to kill a market is I remember exactly when I realized this is I put some money in D'Angelo Russell because I had a good deal on him.
I like D'Angelo Russell.
I thought he was going to be, I mean, not great, but I thought he was going to be a good little ball player.
Yeah.
And I bought 3 immaculate jumbo patch autograph rookies number 25. I had 3 of the 25, and I think I paid, I don't even remember, $600 or $700 or $800 a piece for them.
Yeah.
And there was a comp on them at $900. I think I paid $7. Within a couple of days after I bought them, PWCC listed 4 of them in one night.
You crashed it.
The first one was 9. The second one was 8. The third one was 7. The fourth one was 6.
Yeah.
And crashed the comps on that for 6 months.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They don't. The thing is, it's a great service for the consumer.
Yeah.
It
has its
for
place.
The consumer that's using them at the time.
Yeah.
Like, but it's terrible for the hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you can't trust those comps.
No.
Like, what's that card worth? Well, apparently it's worth $750 because there's 4 comps between 6 and 9.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday on a card that's numbered to 25.
When he went 4 for 11 that night.
There's no. Well, I mean, I guess per their rules or whatever, if somebody owns all 4 of those and they send them in and they want to list them all at once, like I guess that's what they do.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's not. It's very hard to determine value. I think it was almost easier when it was just Beckett and you like you decided between each other, what you were willing to give for that card.
Half of high or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's but there's more and more companies coming out. I mean, I saw several of them at the National of consignments and appraisers, and I mean that's not going away.
No.
So I think you need to learn how to do comps correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which ones to throw out.
Yeah.
I mean, I even saw Mr. Sports Card Investor looking at comps, and one was at 13, one was 14, one was 11, and then there was one for $9.95.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, this low one was $9.95. Well, that was a $9.95 or $9.99 or $7.99. That's almost speak for a one bid buy it now of somebody that was just dumping the card.
Yep.
So that's not an actual comp. Like, but these algorithms don't necessarily take those out of there. Like you see the charts that go up and down, and you see one spiked at $2,800 when every other one's $2,000. We don't know that sale went through, and that throws all the averages off. You can't use any of that stuff, and that's where a lot of it's trending is, You know, I'll grab my phone. I don't even need to look at eBay. I'll just pull up and type in this card. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get burnt working it that way is what I should say.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it, you know, not just that, you know, if it's a fairly, like, if it's not a super rare card and you look it up and the last one sold for, you know, $800, but there's only been 4 that have sold in the last 3 months. It's probably, and there's 10 listed.
Yeah.
Like that's probably not a very liquid card. Like you're probably going to get burnt on that.
Yeah.
You know, now last year you wouldn't.
No.
You know,
everything was liquid.
Yeah, everything was liquid.
100%.
But it's becoming more difficult to sell stuff. It's becoming more difficult. Like everything's become in the last 3 or 4 months much less liquid.
Yeah.
Like people aren't buying like they were.
Yeah.
They're not.
I think we're in that period of it hasn't come to a screeching halt, but it's slowed down, but it hasn't slowed down enough where nobody's jumping off the bandwagon yet.
Yeah.
So cards aren't liquid because nobody's selling because they're not worth 75% of what they were a month ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and everybody's waiting till they go back up to that point to sell them. And they may not do that, you know, because people that have been in it for a year haven't seen it not go up.
Yeah, people are at a loss on stuff. They're not willing to sell. Because they're at a loss on stuff. They're not willing to take a loss. So therefore, they don't have any money to put in anything. So they're not, you know, they're not buying anything else. Like it was kind of like we saw in December, like people jumped out of this and they jumped out of that, and you know the money was moving, but it was still liquid, and now it's not. Yeah, you know, not like it was.
No, I mean it's a lot more, and I mean it's a lot. It's when everything's going up, it's so much easier to buy stuff because there's no fear. Like, and I even fell victim to it, and I was trying to avoid that. Like it was a game plan to avoid that. Like I stepped out of my comfort zone and bought 30 Justin Herbert PSA 9s.
Yeah.
And I'm in the hole at like 40% of less than I bought them for.
Yeah.
You know, I bought them in February. Like there couldn't have been a worse month to buy any card than February of 2021. Like the guy's buying the Jordan stickers and the Jordans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought Herbert PSA 9s.
Yeah.
You know, I'll wait till football season. These will be $500 a card. You know, so even people that have been in it forever haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, anybody can get burned on it. I mean,
I still expect football to do a little bit before the football season starts. Yeah. I still expect a rise there. Nothing like what we've seen in the past. Yeah. Like not even what we saw with baseball season this year.
Yeah.
But I do still expect to see the prices going up a little bit between now and
the
end of the month.
Football still seems like it's king.
Yeah.
I mean, even basketball, the class wasn't what everybody wanted it to be. There's still some good players in there, but I don't think there's a superstar like Luka or even Zion or Ja.
No.
So, I mean, that was a weird time for that to happen too. But, I mean, I've been telling everybody that walk in the door, Justin Herbert could be the second best quarterback. He's never going to win his division.
Yeah.
He's the second best quarterback in the NFL, and he's not going to win his division.
He's got to win.
Yeah. From now on, right?
Yeah. Look at Baker Mayfield. Like, his stuff started going down. You know, Kyler, he's got to win. These guys have to win, or else they're not. You know, there's a reason Patrick Mahomes' stuff is outlandish.
Yeah, because
his record says he's the best young quarterback there's ever been.
Yeah,
you know,
right, Tater.
Right, Tater. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty heated argument about how Patrick Mahomes is in fact a good quarterback. Friggin' nuts. But yeah. So overall, like I would love to. Like, I'll go back to the National if I can. I'll even go to Atlantic City next year if I can.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have a different idea, a different game plan or whatever. But, yeah, this year I think it was a perfect title. It sucked, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be less about going there to make money and just enjoying the hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a little 30 table show on the weekend, that's where you make your money.
Yeah.
This is like a reunion. This is like a graduation. This is like meeting some old friends. I mean, if you do it that way, I mean, you know, there was 1,000 dealers there, and that was a collection over the past 18 months. That was a collection of new millionaires.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need to sell I mean, they don't need to make money at that show. They're not going to give away. They don't need to sell $1,000 to get home.
Yeah.
You know, that's a collection of brand new money that this business has set up thousands of people for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
You know,
that's awesome. It's a good thing.
That's why I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was in a lot better mood this year.
Yeah,
they were in a lot better mood than they were last.
Everybody was buying $5 beers up there, $7 beers and $5 waters. Trust me, in the past you complained about that price.
Yeah.
Now they're coming back with 4 of them. You know, Gibson's was full. Giordano's is delivering a lot of pizzas.
I'm gonna see. I think this is a good time to maybe. I don't know what else topics kind of you wanted to cover, but I think it's a good time to kind of look at chat and see if anybody had any questions or anything. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Connor. Hey, Ziggy. Thanks, buddy. Ziggy, you had the, that Beckett did at the last Dallas card show. You had that video that was talking about the Creator Summit. And that was really valuable. And one of the questions they had was about how creators influence the hobby. And I don't think anybody really like owned up to that. It didn't seem to me like, but there is a huge influence. Like even my tiny channel, like there was certain cards, like you would see them go up after I made a video about them. And like, that's part of the reason I don't make those videos anymore. I put a lot of hours into making them, making sure everything was that I really believed in what I was saying. But with the market right now, and like that being the case, like I don't have any intentions of making those. Like if you want to make money in cards, buy stuff for less than what you can sell it for. That's about the only guarantee.
That should be the motto on our t-shirt.
All right. Well, it's good to have everybody here. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we jump off?
I don't think so. I mean,
whenever.
Hopefully we can make this, if there's enough interest, maybe we can do it again, you know.
Jesse said Herbert might be the number 2 quarterback in the league. What'd you say?
I said he could. I said even if he is the number 2 quarterback in the league, he's never going to win his division. Because there's a guy that's number 1 that's going to stay number 1 for a while.
Yeah, he's just saying like the Chargers, like he plays for the Chargers. They've got to be a better team for him to gain in the hobby. It's not like baseball where if you're a great player, you know, you're a great player regardless of what team you play for. You know, Mike Trout's only played in 1 playoff game, but he's
the Royals swept him.
Yeah, yeah, 1 playoff series. But it's he's got to win. He's got to win. So that's
just what I tell people. Like they come in and they ask, you know, who's the quarterback you're collecting and who's the quarterback you're investing in, and my answer is the guy that's going to win, because you know, you look at if you look at 2019 and take a snapshot of where we are now, people don't care about Daniel Jones. People don't care about, you know, Kyler's it. It's Kyler, it's DK Metcalf, it's maybe AJ Brown. There's a lot of potential in 2019 cards, but they've got to win now. Yeah. You know, and take it out a year from now, all the money's going to be in Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and Najee Harris. And I already have people coming in. It's August 1st or August 2nd, and people are coming in saying Najee Harris is a beast in the Steelers camp. Like, that's where the money's going to go, though. You know, like, like, good luck, Jalen Hurts. You better win.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
real.
good luck, Justin Love or Jordan Love. Like you better get on the field. You know, like Jordan Love may have because we haven't seen him fail yet.
Yeah.
So he may have a little bit more balance, but you know, Justin Herbert's got to win.
Yeah.
You know, you can put up 5,000 yards, you know, but you've got to win now.
It's the football card market.
Yeah, the rookie haze is over,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has that now. Mac Jones has that now.
Yeah.
You know.
Just ask Cam Newton.
Yeah, right. Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is the new Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So
what Joe Koch asked, do you guys think all the PSA slabs could be the next junk wax and how high the pops are?
That's a great question.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, but it's like, you know, you can buy a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card for $5.
Yeah.
You can buy an upper deck for $20.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's the pop counts are important. But I also think if I had to rate, they would be overrated because there's probably 1,089,000 upper deck Ken Griffey Juniors, but everybody still wants one.
Yeah.
So if Luka Doncic is Michael Jordan, I don't care that there's 15,000 of them. That card's going to have some value.
It's going to have some value.
Yeah. I mean, it may not never reach, you know,
I don't know
huge numbers again, but it's going to have. I mean, it's not. He would have to be Michael Jordan for you to invest in him now, and it'd be that value long term.
Yeah, for it to reach $2,000 again, even if he was Michael Jordan, I don't know that before his career's over that it would get to that point again.
Yeah, not
with 18,000 of them or whatever.
But we talked about that too. Like the way PSA has changed the system, there's probably value in cards like, you know, take the scandal aside, 2017 Topps Chrome Alex Bregmans.
Yeah.
Or 2013 Nolan Arenado's.
Yeah.
Chrome, you know, not maybe Topps update, but maybe Bowman Chrome. Because that pop is probably the pop for a while. Yeah, because nobody's sending in $3 cards to get graded anymore.
It sounds like it could be a year before you've got anything close to a reasonable option if they ever open one again. You know, a $50 level.
Yeah.
You know, if they tell me that they're going to start accepting cards at $50, but you got to wait a year, okay, well, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'll send my cards to SGC and get them back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like nothing changed at all. It were, you know, $100 at, you know, 3 months. Like they gave us nothing. They gave us $200 for a couple months, but you're exactly right. Like especially like cards like that, like nobody's sending those in for grading.
No.
Not to PSA.
No.
You know, so that's a really good. That's a really good point to make.
David's right. There were a lot of unattractive men with huge egos.
And no Ovechkin.
There's one in my chair right now.
And no Ovechkin Young Guns. Yeah, same here. That being said, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I hate it. I hated every minute of it, and I'll go back next year.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Do you think you'll go to Atlantic City next year?
I can't look that far ahead.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Atlantic City just seems like too far to make it work.
Jesse's asked. Jesse. Okay, Mike. Jesse's been around the channel forever. Me and Jesse used to do these live streams, and it would just be me and him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
just
it.
Hanging out and doing stuff. So, who's your basketball GOAT? Who do you think the greatest basketball player of all time is?
I mean, I'm a huge LeBron fan, but Jordan's the GOAT. Yeah. I mean, 6-0. Yeah, you can't. I'm also a guy that says that LeBron's career is not better if he was 4-0 in the finals and got beat 6 times in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the greatest of all time is one person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Jordan.
Yeah. I think if you watch Jordan play, I mean, just if you go back and watch his games, like watch a whole game.
Yeah.
like we were talking yesterday, like the willingness and like mentality of a person. We're talking about Luka to like carry their team, like Luka in Slovenia. Like he goes on the court saying, "I don't care what anyone else does. I can win this game. Like I will do whatever I can to win this game."
He will literally rip your heart out in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
He will take every ounce of confidence you have and shove it down your throat.
Yeah.
And LeBron doesn't do that.
He doesn't have it the way Jordan had it.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Kobe maybe, but
yeah.
I mean, Jordan was. Yeah, I mean,
if he felt like he needed to score, if he had to score 60 points and be the best defensive player on the court, that's what he did, and he would just go do it.
Yeah.
You know, you wait or like watch somebody do that for 10 years and tell me they're not the best player, regardless of statistics or career length or whatever, however you want to argue.
I think something that a lot of people don't bring up that kind of settled it for me was when LeBron went to the Heat.
Yeah.
For the first year, that was Dwayne Wade's team.
Yeah.
It was never Scottie Pippen's team.
No.
Ever.
No, it was not.
So the greatest of all time does not defer to someone else.
It was never anyone else's
and
team.
I love LeBron. Like, he's my favorite player, but he's not the GOAT.
No.
So.
No, I'm kind of with you on that. Yeah. Jason, thank you, man. Glad you enjoyed it. Jesse's a huge LeBron fan. Like,
okay.
In his opinion, LeBron's the GOAT. So that was a loaded question.
I understand.
Yeah, but
so we're not friends anymore.
Right. David, why isn't there a tabletop PSA grading machine in every card shop? The technology exists and it would be very simple. Because then they couldn't charge you $200 a card to do it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Like they're better than that. They think that their graders are that much better.
They don't want PSA is just a third party opinion, and it's one that everybody has agreed is the best at this time. I mean, 10 years ago, it was Beckett.
Yeah.
If you sent it to PSA, there was something wrong with it because you didn't want the subs shown.
Yeah.
So it's just now PSA's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. John Jackson said, "Hey guys, great talk. I've been in the business 30 years. And question is, what would you tell these new flippers about survival in the hobby?"
Oh, take all that money you've earned and go out and make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Go out and learn something new. Like you have the ability. Everybody that's tried to do this for a living for the past 15 years has not been given. If you don't have a huge bankroll to start, you haven't given the opportunity to miss.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss.
Yeah.
And now these new flippers have this huge bankroll, or most of them have a very, very good bankroll that they can go out and learn something new and miss.
Yeah.
And learn from their miss. Mm-hmm. And maybe miss again. Mm-hmm. Like, take that opportunity and build on it instead of just trying to do what you've done that's worked for the past 12 months, because it's not going to work anymore.
No. And hustle culture, they're very good at hustling. The modern definition of hustle culture is like, be working your phones, be working your instant or your social media, be out there on the road, going, hustling, yada, 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 which is work. But when it comes to actually sitting down and sorting through 5,000, cards from a dollar box that you are guaranteed to make money off of, like if you're not willing to do that,
right,
it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Like what you did today, sort 5,000 Kansas City Chiefs into players.
Yeah. That's
how you turn cards that should be a quarter into a dollar.
Yeah.
Or cards that should be $1 into $5.
Yeah.
That's follow the guys that were making money when it wasn't easy to make money.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
I've learned so much being here.
Yeah, I learn new stuff every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different world. It's a completely different world than if you're just exposed to what you hear in social media or whatever, like the actual nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different than what people say. So
we got one vote to do this weekly.
Well, I think we got more than that.
Oh, okay.
They're just not as vocal. But thanks, Joe. I think we should do this weekly. It was good, and if we have topics, I think we'll try to do it more. I think if you know,
let's do it, man.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan Jr. over here.
You're gonna like it.
I think we have some cards to sort, though.
Yeah, we've got.
Maybe we'll do it bi-quarterly, monthly, something like 4 times a month, but maybe not weekly. Who knows?
When I came back here and saw this, I knew I had job security.
You could sort twice as fast as anybody ever and still be here forever.
Ever.
It's ridiculous.
Forever. It's awesome. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
You can check out the eBay store if you want to. Look us up on Facebook. If you're in the Kansas City area, please drop by and see us. We always enjoy meeting new people. All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya. That was too easy.